Good
Hello.
morning, wherever you are.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm making it morning till I get it ready for the afternoon, so trust my judgment here.
Oh, some people it's morning. Somebody is staying up until 2 a.m. wherever they are. I heard from somebody. So,
I'm in Thailand. Yeah, it's 2 a.m. already.
oh, is that you?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Sir Ron.
Hello,
Yes,
Marcelo.
good.
I'm in Florida.
Uh,
Well,
Sir
that's
Ron,
kind
good
of it's
morning.
kind of like Thailand for me. I'm okay.
Sir Ron, good
Nice to see
afternoon.
you. How,
It's Bobby
how are you?
Lavelle
How are
saying
you
hello.
all? Hey, man, how are you?
Hey,
I'm there. I'm getting there.
You looking great, man.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
Bobby Lavelle from the big band, my big band days.
Oh,
They're coming back, man. Relax.
absolutely. That's the plan. Absolutely.
All right.
All right.
God
Well,
is
I
God
guess
in His
I
grace.
don't
All things are good.
don't need to formally introduce Maestro. He's Maestro. He's
In
Maestro,
some in
you're
some
on. You're
countries, it's
on.
called
We need a question for you.
in some countries it's called emperor, but for me, I'm maestro. Okay.
Right.
Emperor.
This is true. Sometimes in the US, we do that. And
Yes.
Ryan Malloy, 3 a.m. We appreciate it.
Oh
Thank
wow.
you. Yep.
He has the first chance to get a question in. Good night.
Yeah. Right. That's right. If you have a question, ask it fast. Okay. Well, Brenda Seiler did type a question in here, and she says, for your performances, what's the difference in preparation between a club, large auditorium, or outdoor stage?
None.
Okay.
None
Thank
at
you.
all.
Mr. Favara, you have your hand up.
Yes, sir. Happy New Year, Ron
Thank
and
you.
Penny and Simone.
Same
I
to
hope,
you and everyone.
yes, and Ron, I hope you have a wonderful New Year and 2025 is your best year yet.
I'm starting off by talking to you guys to give me all the spirit I need to not sink into the abyss we're looking at.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that. Hey, I have a question. I know when we talk, you talk about what to do. Do this, do that. What are some of the things that you would avoid as a professional musician, like the third rail of professional bass playing? What are some of those things you've witnessed in the industry where you're like, man, just don't do that? What advice would you give to guys that are coming up or already there to help them along in that regard?
I'm not sure. Can I call you Tom?
You call me whatever you want.
Not in front of ladies, but that's
That's
okay.
right.
Yeah. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Austin, Texas.
Oh, well, okay. I got a special line. I'll give you a different kind of line then. Um,
I'm actually from DC, so you can hit me with the DC program.
okay. Chuck Brown.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Just show you, I have good scheme of things here. Had a good band, by the way, man. The DC band, killing. A couple of things I tell guys who think that they are beyond taking any more lessons. That lets me know that they're so far from not taking any more lessons that I can't hear them play. I think no one gets beyond taking lessons, man. And that's the first mistake young players think when they have arrived. You know, I think the arrival gate is the exit gate for those same people. Different letters, but they're going to leave town fast. The second thing I need to have them understand is that you're responsible for your behavior actions that are affecting the whole band. Some guy's always late. Some person never has their music. They come to the rehearsal and they got stayed because they got back late, not dressed for the gig. Those are all the things, Tom, that players who think they are arrived or have arrived to think they're above that. And I can't tell them any more sternly than this, other than cursing them out, how far they are from being famous and or popular. And they may be those two things, all for the wrong reasons. If I were talking to them in private, I'd give them some real names of people who fell into this I'm good enough, I don't need lessons category. And because I have to tell you their names, you don't know them because of those reasons. They never got past, I'm so good I don't need them. So tell those people who think that they made it, Tom, I tell them I'm still taking lessons. I've been playing over 75 years. And I enjoy taking lessons.
Hey,
That's beautiful. Thank you. I take
You're welcome.
lessons every day or every
all
week.
right.
Good for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Tom,
Okay, I'm gonna
enjoy
alternate
the
a hand up.
holidays.
I'm
You
gonna
too.
alternate a hand up and a chat as
Okay.
I take the questions. So hang in there, everybody. Do you have any advice for piano players in terms of comping?
I'm going out on a limb because I don't know who you play with. But I think if you trust a bass player's choice of notes, comping is always very easy because he's leading you somewhere. While piano is truly a percussion instrument, I never heard a piano player who played it like a percussion. They play it like a melodic instrument. I can name you some great guys who on records sound like they're playing really heavy. And I've played with those same guys at a club or a record date. I said, well, where's the guy who made those records sound like he was playing with a boxing glove on his left hand and a mitten on the right? What happened to that guy on those records, you know? They said, well, the guy wanted it hard. I said, well, look, tell the guy, well, I won't tell you what to tell him, but you know what I'm telling him. I said, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, Holmes. I think that piano players are responsible for what they find themselves in. Because they often say, just watch my left hand. And they'll say, well, I'm already married, man. I mean, I got one on my left hand. Why do I want to watch yours? I got a great wife. I'm not fooling around. I'm on time for the gigs. Watch your left hand for what? If you write checks left-handed, then I'll watch your hand. They don't understand that the left hand never plays the right notes in and of themselves. And by the time they hit that right note that I should have caught, they're already 4 bars into the tune, and I'm lost at the first downbeat of their little finger, missing a B-flat chord, and hit the A with the wrong chord because they missed a note with their left hand. I think you tell good bass players, don't watch my left hand, watch my left ear, which is right on them. Okay?
Raymond,
My friend from Montreal.
we're
Oh,
in Florida
hello,
now.
sir. Happy New Year to all of you.
Thank you.
Happy
How are you?
to you.
We're in Florida for the winter.
Okay.
I was thinking about a question with Mr. Russell Malone. What was one of your favorite concerts with him, and how do you prepare at that time as a trio or as a quartet?
Well, anytime I had a chance to play with Russell Malone, like other guitar players who are really very good, I looked forward to the option of playing with Russell and leaving there learning, knowing that I learned how to play with a guitar player better. And I learned how to play with him better because he trusted my judgment. He, guitar player.
Okay.
Russell he brought a warmth to the bandstand. He brought a concept to how the guitar should sound to the bandstand. He brought the history of guitar to the bandstand. And with that kind of history facing me night in and night out, I had to get better because this guy's bringing back the history of the music to me. With some wonderful guys who he admired, who he checked them out, he listened to them, he understood where they were going with the music as far as they were playing the guitar. He trusted Pop's downbeats. He trusted my choice of notes. I would tell him occasionally, Russell, you're getting sharper and sharper. Just ask for an A from somebody, man. The waiter, I don't care, somebody, man. Give you an A because you're hurting my ear and you're hurting my ego because I'm trying to match your pitch and it's killing me, Russell. He said, man, I didn't mean to do that. Well, Russell, then tune the fucking guitar, man.
Yes.
Right now.
Excellent guitar player.
Donald, give him an A.
Yeah.
That's your A, man. Come on, let's get this. And he never got offended because he understood I'm telling him that so the band sounds better. Not just so Russell sounds better, but so the band sounds better. You know.
And all those years playing together too, you knew each other very well.
Yeah, he trusted when I said he was playing sharp. He didn't say, "You really mean that?" He never said that to me because yes, Russell, I mean it. Right here in Carnegie Hall for the second set, you're getting sharper and sharper. You know. And he enjoyed the humor and the seriousness, which I meant it not to embarrass him or drag him on the bandstand, but I'm trying to get the band to sound sonically in tune.
Mhm.
If you're getting sharp and you're the only one changing the pitch, we have no chance.
That's right. That's right.
Uh,
Thank you very much.
each gig was a pleasure to play with him, and I can't tell you um, how easy it is for my tears to flow when I think of Russell not being here.
Mhm.
Let's go
We
somewhere
miss
else
him a
for a
lot.
moment.
We miss him a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hello to you, madam.
Yes, she's right behind. Il t'envoie la même, il était pas là.
Okay, this is a name in the Cyrillic alphabet, so I'm sorry I can't say your name. What's the key to memorization?
I think unless it's really a specific goal you're working toward, what's the best finger for a passage? You keep playing till you get it right. Maybe it's in the wrong place in the song, so you got to remember when it's coming up to find out if the fingering works. I've never been a fan of having a student memorize it, but I have picked the moments when they really need it. For example, if I think that they're holding the left hand and the left arm in the wrong position, and I want them to stop looking at their hand to confirm that it's still attached to their wrist, the fingernails in place, I have them memorize the exercise and look in the mirror, the way they see the angle of the bass and their hands exactly as incorrect as I could tell them. They're seeing that. They're memorizing the music, so they focus just on the mirror with their hand being the wrong way for me. And you know, I think that classical players, jazz players who are now, or kind of recently insist that their band members memorize the music. I never understood why. I mean, I'm not ashamed that I read good, man. I may have the New York Times on my music stand. I may be reading that, but I can read music too, you know. And I think for me to see the page, it's even easier for me to plot my bass lines. 'Cause I'm reading the top left up here. I'm also playing down here already with my eyes, something like this. And I think that memorizing a jazz piece is overrated and overused. I think it's not a good point of view, and I think I never found it being successful as a teacher in terms of long term, always memorize the exercise. Now, look at it.
Okay.
It's come right at you.
Mr. Sosa.
Happy
Yes.
New Year, Maestro. So wonderful.
Thank you.
to
How are
be with
you?
Good. How are you doing? So good to be with you like this again.
Thank you.
My questions. I am a guitar player, but I would love to hear your thoughts on the beauty of the upright bass and how it compares to the modern electric bass. I would love to know what you think might have been lost in popular music as the upright bass kind of, became less prominent.
You got 9 questions, so can you whittle it down to 3, and I'll try to get them all in.
Okay, how about the beauty of the upright bass? How would you sell that to a new musician?
Tom, I'm still playing it after all this time. I still look forward to going to work every night with whoever has the nerve to call me, no matter what their budget is or isn't. I'm looking for a chance to get better every night with whomever I have the chance to play with. There's nothing for me more perfect than going to work every night and being rewarded by, I'm going there by learning finally how to play a C7 with G sharp in the fucking bass. I just finally learned how to do that. I would not to have thought I missed this chance because I'm too good for that, or my schedule is a little too full, or we're not in the same. No, I'm not there with that. The upright as a voice for me. It's been a voice for a real long time, and I think the more I play it, the more I understand the vocalness of the instrument. Number 2, Justin, it looks great.
It does.
You walk into a club, the bass is laying down, and the orange light makes it pop up like a big pumpkin with 4 strings. I love that stuff, man.
Yeah, well, you look great playing it.
Thank you. The bass agrees.
Love you, Maestro. Take care
Love
of
you.
yourself. Good
Thanks.
to see you.
Okay.
I got a surprise for you guys. Hold on a minute. Guys and gals. wonderful to see you.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Ron. Mr. Carter's grandson.
Can't hear you very well.
Oh, sorry, let me
Speak
see.
into the mic.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ron. I'm Mr. Carter's grandson. We're here visiting for New Year's. So we went and had a lovely night at church last night for the New Year's.
All right.
That's cool.
Nice to see you.
Unprompted. Those are his own thoughts. Until lunch. Then we'll see who's in charge of the next meal.
And also, so
Yes.
Okay. Steve Ozark asks, do you have a spiritual practice? And if so, would you share any of your practices or intentions?
I'm not sure how intentions fits to the questions, Steve, so I'm not trying to walk your question down a little bit. I'm trying to get a better handle on the intent of the questions to find out how big is religion in my life. If I can kind of interpret the question for you, Steve.
Sounds good.
Okay. As my grandson was saying to you, the three of us, my three grandsons and my wife, went to Ribside Church for the New Year's Eve religious service. And we've been doing that every year that I'm not working on New Year's Eve night. And I stopped working on New Year's Eve night about 16 candles ago. So we believe, I believe, that the head chef is responsible for all the meals that come out when we are. I think there's a person who's responsible for the order of the songs, other than me writing them down literally. There's a person who's in charge for, gee, hey guys, you're still playing sharp down there. Somebody's saying that, man. I'm the voice. But they got this big voice saying, guys, please, get that goddamn guitar player up. Guys, come on. No. B flat 7, A flat, my friend. Someone else is dictating this to us. It's a way of making people who ask about my religion be comfortable to understand my answer. I believe there's a voice that helps us do things, that prevents us from doing things if we pay attention to it. I don't belong to a specific religious order, which is part of the question you asked me. I think my experience, worldly experience, lets me know that there's someone in charge of my program. And I thank them, he or she, every day I get up and every day I lie down. That the bass is still outside waiting for me to try to find some new note orders. And that I try to borrow a phrase, be nice to people because I want them to be nice to me.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It's an honor to interact with you, Mr. Carter.
And my grandson right now.
Yeah, that's right. Giovanni.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Good
Can you
afternoon.
hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon. Happy New Year.
Thank you.
It's an honor to speak to you, Maestro, and Ron. Nice to speak to you as well. I'm a big fan of the ESP record by Miles Davis, and I specifically love your compositions, like 81. And I've always been curious to know, what did your writing process look like? As if like, were you writing on using your bass? Were you writing on piano? And yeah, just how that looked like.
Well, generally, if I have an idea, well, two things. First of all, I have to have a need to write. You know, the story is the guys wake up in the morning and they get this giant light bulb that's been going on all night, and they wake up, got the music stand nearby, and they got it all set up. I'm not that kind of. I'm not that guy. I wake up in the morning. I'm so glad to be awake. I'm not thinking about a tune for the day, man. I'm saying, God, thank you very much. I made one more day, one more sleep. Yeah. My compositional skills only show up when I need to write a song. As you know, I produced several of my own records for a long time, and I've had my music on other guys' records because they were, Joe Henderson, for example, he was always short of songs. He would say, okay, big brother, give me a song. I got 10 minutes going this record. We need a tune. I need a tune. Need a tune. I said, Joe, relax. I go to my bag, take out a song I wrote some time ago. I said, Joe, this should work. And because Joe Henderson was a great player, he was, and a really humanist person, he'd make it work. There's no telling when I wrote that piece, what was the inspiration for it, why did it get started. I just know that at some point, I just stopped and wrote it down on a piece of paper, and I happened to put it nearby so I could try to get it right at some other point. My general view is to write a set of changes. Then I would figure out what kind of melody makes these changes reasonable, easy to play, and anyone can find a way to negotiate them, because here comes a melody that makes the changes more intelligible, more logical, more reasonable, and much more fun to see how I make a melody work with my set of changes. Other than that, I'm just an average guy.
Thank you so much. That was so interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Beth and Taj ask, when playing standards, how much are you playing songs from memory as opposed to reading each bar?
Well, there aren't many songs that I can't play that I haven't heard before. I know the songs, most songs form. I know what makes it go to the second ending and go to tag. When I'm reading the sheet of paper with the song on it, I'm not reading the song one measure at a time. I'm seeing the whole page. And I'm basing my line on where in this page is an important place for a different set of changes to take place. I like reading. I am really good at it. And I insist, if I'm at a gig where a guy has no music, I say, well, man, how can I do this with no music? I mean, say, well, you know all the tunes. No, I don't know all the tunes. I may know a lot of songs. You know, I don't want to trust you to lead me when you're not really sure the melody. So I think that my experience in playing a lot of songs by many different composers has given me an insight to how songs can work from different points of view. And understanding a song's format allows me to get through the song until the fourth chorus goes by, when I have heard enough of the melody to remember the melody, and I find out these set of changes fit this song. Other than that, reading the lead sheet has kind of been a nuisance for me.
Okay. Mr. Marino.
Yes.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
Just woke up.
Well, take it easy. It's only Monday.
Right. Hey, by the way, thanks for doing this today. This is really neat. I'm really happy to, thanks for taking the time to do it. But I have a question for you. My wife and I just came across a concert that you did with Richard Galliano.
Mm.
Man, that was unbelievable. How did that go? How did that whole thing work out? I mean, it was excellent. The music was fantastic.
Richard Galliano is an incredible accordionist. He plays a squeeze box. Mm. And he is a genius at what the sounds he makes from this instrument. Those of you who know Chuck Mangione, his brother Gap was a very, very good accordionist. Gil Goldstein, he plays a wonderful accordion. It's not unusual to hear some guys or gals who play an instrument other than piano, a piano-like instrument, squeeze boxing it, and sound good. Richard wrote some nice songs. And one reason I like those songs is that I didn't write them. And I'm curious as to how he can make this stuff work with this instrument that he's going back and forth like this. And it makes it part of the sound for him. I said, Richard, do I have to do that too? Or can I just play the note? Can I go, or can I just go like this? And then once he gets my New York humor, he says, Monsieur, no jokes, please. No jokes at all. Just Richard. Okay, I got that. He's a wonderful player. He writes nice songs, and we played some wonderful venues. And I'm looking forward to seeing him again this fall, somewhere where we can get this bass and the accordion stuff happening again.
Oh, that'd be great. Do you have any plans on coming out? Do you ever get out to the Midwest?
How far from New York is that?
It's about 600 miles.
Well, I'm on my 30. I got 37 to go. There, I'm soon.
Well, you're going to be in Detroit, right? Aren't you going to be in Detroit in March or April?
We're working on that now. Only if Tony will be in the neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Okay, well, check the website. All the performances, as soon as we know about them, they're on the website. There's a performances page,
Oh, okay.
roncarterjazz.com. And so
Great.
you can keep up that way. Also in the newsletter, as soon as we know about something.
It'll
we
be
tell you. So,
it'll be duly noted.
yes.
Great. Yeah. Well, yeah, I wish you a happy new year and
Same to
thanks.
you and yours. Thank you, Mr. Marino.
So Matt Courtney has a question that makes me have a question. Have you done jingles, Maestro?
Not in a very long time. In the early 60s and early 70s, New York was one of the centers of commercial recording. I think because the union didn't stay on their toes and encouraged the industry to stay in New York as it was changing rapidly, the industry stopped being what it was 25 years ago. But I'm on several big Coca-Cola commercials, a couple of car ads.
See, even I learned something new every day about something else you've done.
Yeah, where they had the bass player, I was kind of one of the second guys they would call. The first guy will always be busy, so thank you very much.
So Matt Courtney's question then is, when working on jingles, would you have a tendency to make something up on the spot for the jingle of the day? Or did you walk into the studio with some ideas in mind specifically for jingles?
I had no idea what I was saying until I walked in the studio. They hired me to play what they wrote specifically. But they trusted my judgment if what they wrote either didn't sound good enough, it was kind of the wrong musical direction for the tenor of the commercial.
What are you doing?
Or it just sounded terrible. I'm not sure who that was, but that was not I. Commercial work is what it was. It was fun to go for an hour, get royalties, get residuals. Then you went to the next date. I know guys who had 2 or 3 houses that they bought on the commercial residual money that they earned playing jingles all day. I did my share of making money. My challenge was to go in there and set a level for the bass players of that day where I'm working.
Okay. Mr. Lavelle.
Sir Ron.
Yes, hey man.
Hey man, great to see you. You know, I don't have a specific question, of course, you know. I just wanted to take an opportunity to wish you a very, very happy new year, you and the family and everybody. You know, nothing else needs to be said. You know what the deal is with me. So
Thank you so much, and it's good to see you. I'm looking forward to you coming back on the bandstand whenever your situation allows, and I have one more seat available to you. That belongs to you, man.
Thank you so much, Ron. You have no idea what that means, man. It means so much. And thank you for all the times that I've been with you, you know, and all the time we spent together, you know. But 25, I'm looking to have some things happen in 25. But I just want Happy New Year. Happy this year.
Good for us. We're looking forward to happening too. Hold on 1 minute.
Okay. Mark Cathcart, your question's going to be next as soon as Maestro comes back. Oops, there he is.
Alrighty then.
Okay. Mark Cathcart asks, how would you describe the camaraderie of the CTI era, especially when recording at Van Gelder's? It strikes me that with some many regular musicians, it was more like esprit de corps.
Well, we were a family. And when we go to the sessions, Rudy, Don Sebesky, and the leader would have gotten together with Creed for some general ideas about what kind of theme was happening for this record. Theme of the Beatles songs, the theme of the Philadelphia Sound, some of the Michel Legrand songs, whoever was the current writer of note at that time. then we get together before we all met at the studio. And occasionally Don would write a little rhythm lead sheet that he would overdub stuff with when we got the tracks. Sometimes he just had the sheets of the songs and we would learn them on the fly. By and large, there were no rehearsals. The only thing we were worried about is it will be enough time to do as much of this music as possible within a small time frame. We all know Rudy would make the sound as we presented it to him. So we were all on our best behavior because it was his home, literally. And when someone stepped off the roadmap, someone got out of their lane and got too personal or too familiar with the material, with the recording stuff, the date would stop. And we'd be trying to talk Rudy into, come on, Rudy, get over that. Okay, let's get this date done. We've got some music happening here. They're friendly guys here. Right now, you're making the date about you. That can't be the case, man. It's about the music. Come on. And because we were friends, Rudy didn't really get offended, but he was offended. That was good enough for me. When he gets offended, I got him. So we had a good time. We all loved Rudy's place because we knew that the piano would be in tune. He would have the most available, the brand newest of new recording equipment. He knew how to get a sound right away. There were no false starts because the material, the gear wasn't in shape or someone hit a microphone by accident. We were out there making music as a business. We all look forward to it. And my role in my placement in that group of fabulous players was to kind of make sure that they understood that the party is after the date. And that I was there to help to maintain that kind of control is not the right word, but that kind of intention of making some music. You know, when I walked in the door, I wanted the music of love to go up 65%. And I wasn't letting it go anywhere else but there. And they understood that for me it was a serious business. I'm making some music with some great, great guys. And because we were all equal, let's get this party started. And we did.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Carter. Happy New Year to you and your family.
Thank you very much.
Lennox.
That was your brother.
Hello, Maestro.
Yes.
So I'm a pianist, I'm not a bassist, but as a member of the rhythm section, like I understand the importance of the communication between a bassist and a pianist. So I was wondering what a bassist is necessarily looking for in a good pianist.
Chord voicings, the range of the instrument. Is he using the whole 88 keys plus? Does he mind being told stop banging on the piano pedals for the time? A pianist who doesn't mind someone saying, that's not really the melody. Do you really know the melody? And a pianist who's not afraid to accept someone else telling him, listen to my changes for a moment, not just yours. You know, if you bought my bio book, I have a story about me and McCoy Tyner. You know that story? This is my Christmas present to you.
Thank you.
I was working in the studio with McCoy for the first time on something like Flower of the Wind or one of those records, one of those records we made together. And after the first two takes, I told McCoy, we took a break. I said, McCoy, let me talk to you for a moment, you know. And with his beautiful, he said, yeah, man, what is it, you know? I said, well, you know, you playing Steinway piano, right? He said, yeah, it's a great sound. I said, McCoy, yeah, don't play past the S. And from that day until this passing, that was our common joke. Hey, Ron, can I go past the S? No.
Thank you, Maestro.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Ryan Malloy says, I read a quote from you recently about how you're more interested in influencing the soloist with your lines as opposed to soloing yourself. I feel very similar myself. I was hoping you could share some general strategies and some specific examples of this mindset from your experience on the bandstand.
That's, I'm never really comfortable to talk about me, but that's what this is. So if you would kind of go on my RonCarterUniverse.com site, you'll see a universe with these dots and stuff. Each dot is a record that I'm on. RonCarterUniverse.com. UNIVERSE.com. And I offer you this site so you can see the first answer to your question about being not the primary soloist, but probably the guy who's making the stuff start and stop at his will, at his command. That's what a bass player can do if he has the skill and interest in not being the guy under the pearly lights. You know, you want to hear me solo? Come to my house. When we play a good time, come to the gig. You want to hear me solo? Come to my house. You want to hear me direct the band in a certain harmonic direction and have fun doing that? Come to the gigs. I think, you know, and I don't know whether if you have my bio, but your Christmas present to me, so somewhere in that bio, I explain Miles Davis as best I can. And my view is clearly Miles Davis was the band leader. No question. But when I listened to the band, I was leading the band. Okay?
Okay. Rice, you have your hand up and your video off.
Hey, yeah, so I was wondering, I'm familiar with your work with some soul musicians such as Gil Scott-Heron, and I was wondering if you ever crossed paths with my personal favorite soul singer, Isaac Hayes.
No, he passed away before I got to that zone, but I would have loved to have played against him because he had such a rich voice. I'd be interested in trying to find a range that he wouldn't just smother because of the color of his voice, you know? So no way, get out of there.
All right, thank you.
I tell him don't sing past the S.
Thank you. I'm excited to see you on your 88th birthday celebration.
Thank you.
Great.
I'm looking forward to getting it.
Yeah. Come back and say hello.
Please
That's
do
what
that,
it
yes.
says. Billy says, I'm a working bass player in Atlanta. How do you approach the relationship between the bass and drums regarding the tempo and feel?
I trust two things for the drummer, whoever he or she is, that if I ask them to retune the bass drum so that it doesn't interfere with my low A and low E and low C string, they don't look at me as if I asked them to, can I share their Wheaties? Secondly, I hope that they will trust me that if we seem to be playing the beat in different places, they will trust my sense of where the beat really is and go along with me long enough to see that I'm a good timekeeper, man. That's what I do, you know. And I try not to bang them in their head wherever they are that this is where the beat is. No, I try to talk to them through my note choice and where I'm playing the form and where I put the beat so they hear that this is where I think the harmony is. This is the form of the song, you know. Of course, I have certain sounds I prefer to hear. I like a bright snare drum, you know. I like a cymbal with not too many rivets because the sound lasts too long for my note length. And it depends on how flexible they are to taking how open they are to taking suggestions from a bass player who's not too bad.
Great. Carl's iPad.
Oh, hi. Sorry, I took me by surprise then.
Hello,
happy New Year, Mr. Carter and to Ron. I had the pleasure of seeing you in Birdland in October. I'm from Wales in the UK, and you graciously spent some time and met us and talked to us, which I thank you for.
Welcome.
My question mainly is, as a session musician, a session bass player, how much do you change a bass line? Is a bass line always something structured for you to play? I'm thinking more in the sort of Pieces of a Man, Gil Scott Heron, a beautiful bass line you play. Was that something that you brought to the table?
I remember the date only because I got a call from the producer that the band was having a difficult time making this recording.
Okay.
The producer was a friend of mine, and he thought that I could come in and give him, the producer, a hand in convincing the Midnight Band that maybe I would be a better fit for this recording option. And I'm sure they had some kind of arrangement that had worked out. I don't remember the record specifically that my lines were mine or theirs or a combination of each. All those possibilities are available. One of the reasons that the producer called me was that he felt that I could not only fit in to the environment and make them feel comfortable to play with a New York bass player as they rehearsed in Washington, D.C., but I'd be able to have them play enough without the pressure of being solely responsible for the day being a success.
Okay.
And when I walked in and they felt that the producer felt that I could help them be successful making the recording, no one got bent out of shape. They didn't say, hey man, what's he doing? Yeah, no, we're in New York, man. There are a lot of guys in New York who play really good. The day is my day to show you guys that I play pretty good and I'm a nice guy to work with. And the date fell in place because they just needed someone who was experienced in recording, who knew how to make a record, who knew how to make the adjustments as the guy wrote the bass line. Let me play this note here. Let me move the rhythm around for you. Who was experienced in helping this scrambled eggs unscramble the eggs. You know, and I'm really good at that. You know, and that it turned out that a record announced Gil Scott's presence to the world. I mean, who would think of the revolution would not be televised this year? I mean, guys, I mean, really, you know, I mean, he was already there, man. He just needed a bass line to underpin those kind of concepts.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds beautiful,
Amazing.
Mr. Carter. It's a beautiful album, and your bass lines
Thank you.
are amazing. So thank you so much.
I'll do my homework and see what I played.
Thank you, Mr. Carter.
You're welcome.
Paula Carvalho says, I'm a Brazilian PhD student researching Brazilian musicians who moved to the US during the 60s and 70s. Do you see any significant impact of those Brazilian musicians on the US recording industry? And if so, could you elaborate on how their presence and work influenced American music in that period?
I think the Brazilian musicians who made their presence most noted were the arrangers. And they weren't Brazilian musicians who made the difference, but they're writing in a Brazilian style. But there's some wonderful Brazilian arrangers. Emir Deodato was one of them. Amiato Pascoal, some really great Brazilian arrangers who made the music be translated from Rio to Rudy Van Gelder's studio. They had a feel for the harmony. They wrote, I call them bebop chords with a different kind of bass line, you know. And there were some other arrangers who were not Brazilian. Klaus Orgelman, who wrote some great arrangements for some of the recent albums back then of Antonio Jobim's Uhuru, the great record he arranged for I call him Tony, Antonio. Their influence wasn't so much the music as it was the physical presentation of arrangements that made the music more palatable, not just for the audience, but easier to duplicate by the American arrangers. While we're speaking of influences, if you would listen to Brazilian records up to 1968, the bass lines, and listen to them from 1970 on, you realize that they're playing what I started playing with Jobim in 1968. So one would say that my influence in the Brazilian music scene, Bossa Nova in New York, was kind of headed by a bass player, me.
Okay. Ruth, you have your hand up.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It's for me really a gift be here in the first day of the year and meeting all of you, and especially Maestro to you, because some days ago I just felt that I really wanna meet you, know you, and I sent a message, and your team sent me this contact really fast. So thank you, everyone. I'm singer. Hello. I sing since I was born. Always. I don't remember my life without music, and play piano. And maybe 1 year ago I started to play tenor saxophone, and simply sounds. It's easy for me play tenor sax. And there's a connection that is not usual for me. I do not dedicate my life priority music because I decided keep my quiet heart and emotions. I'm meditation teacher and yoga teacher, so I use music always inside of me in a spiritual way. Something that is amazing for me is when I see you close your eyes and play. What you transmit to us when you close your eyes and sounds through your heart and your instrument is really fantastic. It's a heal for the soul. It's a bless. So thank you. And for me, today is a gift. Be able to speak to you and feel you in this moment.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, you know, because our screens have different colors and stuff, I'm sure you can't see me blushing. A nice maroon. And thank you.
When I play the tenor sax, something happens inside of me that I do not have this experience with any other instrument. The first time I make the instrument sounds, I start crying. I know that I have this instrument in my hands, maybe not in this life, because it's not something I cannot explain with words. It's something that flows inside of me. It's really strong. It's wonderful.
Well, it's nice that you have found another way to communicate to music other than literally singing lyrics and words to help them feel what you feel through music. You found a way to get to them and not need to have the words help to convince them that this is a feeling that someone else is telling you to tell them, the writer of the song, that kind of stuff. You found another source of you to communicate with an audience by not talking to them literally.
Yes, the sound is
by not making
magic.
them, by not making them hear your words to understand. You find another source of information, another tool. In this case, a tenor saxophone, that helps people best understand your emotional place for the day, without talking them into feeling what you feel, literally. You know, I play with some sax, and I'm being a little New York right now, but I play with saxophone players who made me want to cry too, but for different kind of reasons. And I play with some very good ones. You know, Bobby Lavelle, who's on the screen, my friend from my big band days down at the clubs, and man, he's the guy who plays. You know, no one knows him as well as I do. I wish they could all hear him play more. Houston Person, these guys Ruth, who really played the saxophone with a kind of internal emotion.
Oh, this is really strong.
Yeah, they probably couldn't carry a note to the mailbox singing it, but you got the saxophone that helps them. When I'm playing with them, this is what I'm feeling today. Bam. And I'm saying, yeah, man, but I'm feeling like this, Let's work this out because there's only two of us. You got a reed that looks like a popsicle stick, and I got 4 strings here. Let's work this out because we've got another set to make this happen. And he's one of the saxophone players who allows me to be able to tell him what I want without pulling him aside and say, do that. And you're very fortunate to have found another avenue of speaking to your audience without literally speaking to them. Congratulations. And keep on enjoying the mistakes, because that's how you learn better stuff.
Great.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Obrigado.
If you speak fast, I'm Spanish. I speak good English, but when you speak fast, I don't understand not everything, but I understand and I feel you.
Thank you.
Well, this will be
Really?
on YouTube. This will be on Mr. Carter's YouTube channel, so you can watch it in about a week and play it slow and, and get everything.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If you come to Spain or Europe, I will visit you and I will meet you. So.
And I will not play saxophone, so I'm okay.
Walter Sassano apparently grew up living next door to a jazz pianist named Hugh Lawson.
Yeah.
Mr. Lawson passed before he could have a grown-up conversation with him. Could you share any of your insight into Mr. Lawson as a musician?
He was a wonderful piano player, first of all. He was the link between Hank Jones, Tommy Flanagan, and Bud Powell. He's kind of like for me, a modern day Teddy Wilson, who I had a chance to work with at a place called the Village Gate in 1963, 64 for about 5 weeks. What a lesson in piano playing, to know that this giant, Teddy Wilson, has hired me to play this gig in New York for as long as I want. That to hear me say that, it just astounds me that I've had the fortune to be in that kind of company. He was one of the more gentler piano players, like Tommy Flanagan. At the time in Detroit, Bud Powell was really the rage. He was really playing. He's a hard piano player, and it was okay. That's what he did. Monk was not a soft player in terms of attacking the piano, figuratively speaking. Hugh had a nice sound, and he didn't seem to be of that school of thought that Bud Powell brought to the instrument. And those people who followed him, Alice Coltrane, she played really, I hate to say the word hard, but really firm. If you go back and listen to any kind of Teddy Wilson records, you're hearing Hugh Lawson. And I'm sorry you didn't get a chance to talk with him, because you would have loved to have some conversation about piano sound and piano touch. In New York, when I was home, I was not a jazz player. I knew him as a classical player, cello player. Me, just kind of knowing who he was. My neighbor knew who he was. When I started making gigs and came to New York came to Detroit with Chico Helms in 1961, I had a chance to really talk with him and go to the session where he was playing. It was just amazing that this guy's playing this piano that the last piano player played, but he's got a different instrument. Well, it's the same piano. He's just hearing something sounds he can make differently than this last person who played the piano at the jam session. So I'm sorry you didn't have a chance to talk with him and talk shop with him, as it were, because you would have loved his concepts as I did, not knowing much to add to the conversation.
Great. Scott.
Hello. I was wondering if you would have any advice for someone who has like a classical music background but is trying to get into jazz, both in terms of playing or understanding the music, as well as like getting along and working with other jazz musicians, being like in the culture, I think.
What do you play? Instrument?
I went from classical guitar to electric bass.
Hmm. Why did you go from guitar to electric bass?
I really don't know why. I think I just like did it on a whim one day and realized like I like playing jazz.
But that's separate. I mean, I know electric guitar players who play a classical kind of library, you know? You're not interested in playing a classical kind of library on a non-traditional classical instrument?
Well,
You know, I'm asking you to look past talking to me, you know?
yeah.
I'm asking you to look at why you changed instruments and why was that your if you had your druthers is not electric bass. Yeah, I'm just asking you to look past doing it and understand what made you pick that instrument over any other instrument.
I think it's it's cause I had to play something for like the school band, so I decided to just pick up the bass because we needed one. And then also I think I gravitate toward like the role of the bass because of like its harmonic function in the band, which is like what I'm really interested in.
What is it? I'm not going to take a lot of your time with this question because you're asking me a very complicated question that needs a really complicated answer. But how old are you?
I'm 17.
Okay, well, I'm not sure you really understand the role of the bass at being 17. And if I had some time, I'd give you like 3 hours of my time to show you really what the role of the bass is.
Yes.
Yeah, the role of the bass player is not to replace guitar player.
No.
So get over that.
Yeah.
And don't let that be your focus. You know.
Okay.
And if you do me a favor, if you will send that question to my chat, I'll try to answer you in writing so you have a better idea of my comments that will make you understand better what you're walking into, so to speak.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. If you email your question, Scott,
Yeah.
if you email your question to roncarterbassist@gmail.com, we will get back to you with Maestro's answer.
All right. Thank you so much, and Happy New Year.
Thank you, same to you. And you better read it, man. I don't know if you don't read it. You have a,
I will.
You have to have a special glass that lets me see that kind of stuff. You know?
I will read it. I promise.
Scott,
Happy New Year to you too.
Yeah, Scott, I put it in the messages. Do you see it?
In the chat.
Oh yes, I see it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
In the chat. Okay, you're welcome.
All right. Thank you.
Paige, how much time do we have? It's 2:29.
Well, how many more questions?
Up
How
to
much
you,
time do you
Maestro.
have? It's up to you.
I have a question for Beth and Taj. This guy's been playing this bass for the whole hour. I'm not sure if that's supposed to scare me or encourage me to talk to him. Taj, give me a hand here. I don't want to leave this hanging in midair. You've been playing for an hour, and I haven't done that in a very long time. And I kind of gravitated to it 20 minutes at a time, given my weight and my age group, you know. So how can I help you today with one question to ask me for your gift of the holidays? Turn your sound on. Can hear you.
Hey there, Mr. Carter.
There you are.
Well, I did ask a question on the chat early on, which you got to, and I appreciate it. It was about just how much are you playing from actual reading a sheet of a standard or playing from memory. So that was helpful. I've been just started like trying to learn to play jazz again. So I have a 3-year-old, so I haven't had much time lately, but now I'm committing to just, trying to learn standards again. So it's just, I was sitting around, so I just like to have the bass in my hand. I don't know. You're a big inspiration.
Okay. My first question is make sure that you know whether you have your baby in your hands with a guitar in your hands.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
it's a big difference.
yeah, I don't want to see you strumming your baby's nose thinking it's a B flat 7.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. You know.
Yeah, I won't do that.
Yeah, and secondly, limit your practice time.
Okay.
It sounds like you plan the bass forever, and look, and the first chance you get not to play it is with taking care of your baby. You know, I think long practice hours, if you know how to practice, if I can call you Taj, you don't need an 8-hour practice day to be productive.
Mm-hmm.
So I recommend to you do a couple of things. Know what you're looking for when you go to practice this hour.
Okay.
What do you want to learn when you put the bass down? You know, I tell my students after we have a lesson, before you play at your home, read the notes for the lesson from this past week.
Mm-hmm.
They're telling you where you need to focus, this practice. The practice is not a jam time with you and yourself, man.
Right.
Practice time is when you discover how to fix things in a logical and a serious fashion. You know, the light bulb doesn't go on because you figured out how to play a B flat 7. The light bulb goes on because you knew where to play the B flat 7. What kind of skill level do you have to make the B flat 7 available to you? It's not this. It's grinding them out. It's knowing I have to leave this practice knowing I learned two things. One, when to stop. And two, what is my goal while I'm practicing? If you can add those things to your practice mindset, I can assure you, you will see yourself get better despite you. Those things are important. And I tell my kids, you know, when we take lessons, I have a job just to help you get better with my devices, whatever they are. Your job is to go home and try to do it. Unless you're willing to go and do that, you're not doing your job.
Yeah.
And because you're not doing your job, I can't do my part of the job. And I'm really good at doing my part of the job, man. I want to help kids. I want to help kids get better. I can't help them if they don't come prepared, if they have not practiced correctly to allow me to help them. And I can't tell you how frustrating it is to see kids who are talented, who no one told them how to practice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I practice 4 hours. You're foolish, man. 20 minutes and put the bass down. Come on. And I say that not to toss it off as not important. Of course it's important. But knowing how to practice is more important. That's where you make your no kidding light bulb moments. You know? I've had some snap moments when I practice, man, because I knew I was looking for it. I said, oh, that's. I said in Japan, so this guy. Okay. So, and I was getting a little nervous because you're walking back and forth like on the treadmill that you not get off because you can't turn the sucker off, man. You're going to be a treadmill until you run out of gas, so that's why I pulled the plug out. I said, this guy's got to stop, man. He's going back and forth like he's going like this, you know. Stop. Stop. That's your word for the day.
Okay.
Maestro, hold up your sign.
We see this one occasionally.
Yes. Maestro uses this on this one on us every now and then.
Can you guys see it?
Yes.
You're moving too fast. Slow down.
And then.
Right. Wait for the green.
Okay.
Thank you.
Maestro, do you have time for one or two more?
Yes, one or two more.
And there's one for Ron as well.
Oh, okay. Ron, ask your question for Ron, please.
It's Alfonso Williams asks, what age were you when you realized your grandfather was famous and world renowned? What did you think about it then, and what do you think about it now?
I feel like that's a good question.
I do too.
I feel like I have like a special relationship with my grandfather, especially being Ron 3.0, as he's named me. I feel like it didn't really start until I got into high school. So in high school, I played in the conservatory. So instead of doing sports in the afternoon, we did music. So, we do music theory, we do color ear training, we do extra like band combos and stuff like that. So that's when I really got, into like the jazz, culture basically. Especially, when all your friends are musicians, they're like, we have like your friends that are like in your middle school, they're like, they're from your town. They're just like, oh, that's just Ron. Oh, that's just his grandfather. They're not, they don't really know anything about, like the music culture. But once you get people that do know about the music culture, it's very different. I remember my principal in middle school was a big fan of my grandfather, and he would come up to me and say like, oh, like Ron and Miles, my brother, I listened to your grandfather on the radio. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, what's for homework? So like, it doesn't really, it doesn't really register until you become like appreciative of the culture. And I definitely would say as I got older and I listened to more and more music, I become more, aware of what's going on around me in terms of music, what's coming out, what's new, and just being like, becoming more mature. I think, that really like is it's eye opening, but this would always just be grandfather and me, no matter how much people call him Maestro or Mr. Carter or the God Bass. So thank you for the question.
Thank you.
Okay, Victor Gloud says, how is the best way to amplify your bass to get the tone that you're looking for?
Fortunately, I have three things going for me. Number one, I have David Gage, who's been my bass repairman for over 25 years. Number two, I have a friend named Nick Epifani, whose gear I use. Number three, I have two great ears and a memory of what I want to sound like night in and night out. That's my job. Nick uses, what he does is a little over my head to explain to you, but his gear is geared to make the bass sound like nothing else but a bass. And I help that process by not playing as if it were anything else but a bass. David Gage helps me maintain the bass being in tip-top condition, any seams that open up or dents because people don't see a bass and run into it with the elevator or with the cart, sound post fell over because I took our string off too soon. He helps me maintain the bass in such a condition that if I get it right, the bass lets me know.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, well, thank you so much, everyone. I'm sorry there's a few questions we didn't get to, but if you will email your questions to roncarterbassist@gmail.com, I promise you will get a personal answer from Mr. Carter.
Yep.
Or from Ron's grandfather.
And it's written in the chat, so you can access that as long as you have your screen open.
Right.
While we stopped, behind in the background of someone's picture is a book.
Oh, that's right.
It's called Ron Carter, The Smithsonian Interview. If you go to roncarterjazz.com, you will see this book available. It's a great shots, great pictures, great paper. And that's me.
Like a coffee table art book with the transcript of Ron's grandfather's interview with the Smithsonian Oral Jazz History Project. And we've put pictures to it and QR codes to music, and it's like the annotated interactive life of Ron's grandfather.
And the book reads as 3 separate books. You've got the entire full-length interview on one side that you can read straight through. On this side, we've taken out excerpts that speak to Maestro specifically. That was part of the work that we did. And then across the bottom is a timeline that does not correspond to the pages, but it corresponds to his life over a specific period of time. And it's educational about issues that are important these days.
Right. What was going on at the time he was making these recordings and going through everything? What was happening in the world?
Impacted his youth and his development. So I do highly recommend it. We do not have it yet on anything but hard copy, but it will be digitally very soon available in the next few months. So keep an eye at roncarterjazz.com and we'll make certain that
Can I
you.
ask if you ship internationally?
Yes,
with
we
that
do.
book?
We'll
Yes, we
ship
do. Okay.
anywhere.
Okay.
If
Thank
you
you.
order it on the website. Yep.
And don't skip any pages. No, don't skip any pages. No,
Next fall, there's going to be a quiz. So.
Yes, none of the speed readings. No. Every word's supposed to be there. Trust us.
Mr.
ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Carl iPad, do you have, go to roncarterjazz.com. You can see the link in the chat, yes?
Okay, thanks, Simone. Yeah, I'll probably do because I'm in the UK, I'm in Wales. Might be easy for me to do kind of a bulk shipping because there's other things I probably want as well. So I'll have a look and then I'll get back to you. And yeah, cool. Thank you.
Great.
Ladies
Okay,
and
well,
gentlemen.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Ladies and gentlemen, Happy New Year. It's
Happy
nice
New
to see
Year.
you all. The next time we meet, it will be not a new year, but it'll be still a good year for us. Please come by and say hello. And if we can't get to all of you, that's a good thing because there's a lot of people who want to hear what we have to say and hear your questions and my silly answers. But I mean all of them. And I'm thrilled that you would come back and see us again. And Ron 3.0 agrees in that. He'd like to see you again too. So
Thank you. Nice to
kinda-
see you. Happy
Thank
New
you very
Year.
much.
Bye, everyone.
Hi, Mr.
Thank you,
Carter.
Maestro.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thank you,
Happy
Maestro.
New Year, Simone.
Thank you.
New Year.
Happy
Thank
New Year.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Take care.
you, Peggy.